older time period. I want to say 1800s.
Yeah.
From that time period, because she's got the longer skirt. But it looks more like a housewife, like farming type
I wonder
woman.
if she worked in the Speakeasy.
No, she's a little older than that.
Oh, older
She's
than
older
that?
than that, so she's prior to that time. But she's from the area.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm getting. I'm getting passing things. There's a love tryst here. There's a fight. There's drowning sorrows. There's I can't pay the mortgage. You're getting all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Hitting all over the place.
A lot of cash being exchanged.
A lot of cash, but then
Yeah.
you're getting down to where why the people are drinking, what they need to do to escape.
Yeah.
And the guys are kind of, you get the different feelings off of each of the guys. One, they have to be here, they gotta earn the money. Some don't want to be here. Some are just using it so they can get the next beer, you know what I mean? Just different energies.
Yeah.
It's just,
Very strong.
yeah, this is,
Yes.
this is Fieldstone.
So like I said, there's the younger gentleman in his 30s and the older gentleman probably in his late 50s, early 60s. But the older gentleman is the one that I feel had visited here when it was thriving. And the younger gentleman is just like squatting, hanging out here. He feels comfortable here, and I think it's because of the other gentleman's energy. But they don't really mesh. They don't get along.
No, he just has no other place to go.
No.
He's here. But that woman, she's older, so she's got the longer skirt, the shirt, the hair pulled up into like a bun.
Yeah.
I want to say later 1800s. Not the corset,
Yeah.
close, almost like a Gibson girl look, but not quite. So towards like 1870s,
Yeah.
after the Civil War, but it's 1870s, something like that. She puts her hands on her hip and she's just angry and she's just yelling, and I'm trying to get what the heck she's
Well, there's you know what, I'm sensing right now, a little boy is standing right there. He's got this black round hat on with the rim.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got the pants that come up to the knee and stuff with the tall socks.
With little niggers.
That must be her son, the older woman's son or something, but it
Yeah.
feels like he's comfortable here and he's playing with some stick. So whoever he belongs to must have frequented the
bar and stuff?
the bar.
I should explain why she
And then
pissed.
I bet that's not a stick, that's a bowling pin. That's from it's a small bowling pin, not like
Oh, those
we're used
Indian
to.
club kind of things?
Indian club?
Yeah, those older ones. So duck pins,
yeah.
duck pins.
Okay, that's what he's playing with. And,
duck pins, yeah.
and we were told that the bowling alley is back here.
Well, he can play with it, sure.
Yeah,
He's allowed. But she's yelling, because she's yelling at the guy who's here drinking.
yeah,
And the kid's off to the corner because he's trying to like block out mom and screaming at dad.
yeah.
Even though mom screams a lot, because
Do you
mom
think
is
the
not
boy?
satisfied.
Do you think the boy is a relation to the owner, or is it just a customer that brings the boy in, or what?
I'm getting customer.
Yeah.
She's screaming at him.
'Cause he's the only kid in there.
But he's trying to like block it out. You know how kids will play and just kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's in his own little world.
He's in his own little world, but she's angry. She's got her own thing going on because she's not happy about what is going. Because it's unspoken issues. It's very German in feel.
Yeah.
You don't speak about it. You hold it in and you suck it up. You know.
Well, the way he passed away, the boy, so the reason he's here is because this was his comfort zone. It's like when I was growing up, I
Oh, sure.
pretty much was raised at the cafe, but he was ran over by a wagon wheel.
Yeah, that sounds right.
He was crushed in the street at that age, and he appears to be about 8 or 9 years old.
Says his chest hurts. Ran over.
Yeah. So the woman, I don't know yet, but
She's screaming.
the younger gentleman is from the railroad. It feels like he hopped. He was a bum, back in the day.
Yeah.
He would ride the railroad.
Yeah.
And this is where he died. And I feel like he was killed through a knifing, and it was over some bet
I'm sure.
that went on, and he got caught in the middle. He was actually trying to help somebody else that was being attacked, and then he inadvertently got stabbed to death.
Yeah, he made friends with another guy. They
So there
kinda-
must be an alleyway or someplace back behind the building here or something like that, but the older gentleman does feel like he had something to do with building this,
Yeah,
you know? Or maybe, no, it was his brother. His brother and somebody else invested in this, put their money into it, but he actually worked at laying some of this. That was hard work back then, can you imagine?
oh no, yeah, no safety standards, no, no.
Yeah.
Where'd the tunnels go? It's not through here.
Well, I just want to kind of look at the bowling alley a little bit.
Yeah.
So I imagine that there was like a curtain here and then you came through.
Yeah, those were those shorter lanes.
And then you had like a waiting room here, even though some of this is new,
Right.
sheetrock and stuff like this, but you can tell, you can feel it, that this was like a pool table.
Yeah, pool table, absolutely.
I feel a pool table, chairs sitting around.
So this is
little
those
bar
shorter,
on
this
the
is
end.
that shorter lane bowling alley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they had a little bar on the end here.
Kind
Drinking,
of like
smoking.
candlepin bowling. It's the smaller balls.
I can smell it. Can you smell pipe tobacco?
I smell something
Or
sweet.
cigar?
Something sweet.
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
I don't know what
But
it
this
is.
is where the bowling alley was.
Mhm.
And so they had the one lane, and yes, they would be using those small pins, wouldn't they? The
They
small-
be using the smaller ones and like candlepin bowling where they're like 8 pounds because you couldn't use the bigger ones. It was too big for that area. So
Yeah.
you'd use the smaller ones like candlepin.
There definitely is a female energy in here. The older one is out there, the older woman. There's a woman here in her late 20s, early 30s. And I feel she worked here, but she was also making money on the side, doing whatever. So she is all dressed up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
One of those, what they would say, quote unquote, loose women. Yes.
Yeah, and she's got darker hair, and it almost feels like native background, native blood in her, but maybe, you know, mix.
She's a mix.
Yeah, but she's got rings on, and
Mm-hmm. This was the
Everything.
only way she could earn the money decently. She was, quote unquote,
Yeah.
a sad disappointment to her parents.
yes.
You know, so she had to go out. And home life wasn't fun, so. That's
So
what she-
I can hear conversations going on, and I can hear, what would they have for music back then? Because I kind of hear something starting and stopping, not like skipping, but
Yeah, no, they'd have like those, they're not jukeboxes, but they'd have the Victrolas.
yeah.
And then later on they had, oh Lord, well,
Yeah,
they
with
had
the big
the smaller
horn.
one, those horns, yeah.
The horn. So I can hear that, and somebody's cranking on that.
Yeah, morning glory horn is what I'd hear.
Yeah, they would cram some people in here, wouldn't they?
Oh, yeah. Anything to get out of, you know, escape. It was their
And
escape.
it's funny where the elevator is now. Back then, there was actually a secret stairwell. I know the stairwell we came down, this one feels like it's probably under it or behind it or something.
Older.
And they would go up and they'd get out a side door, and then there's a guy standing up there. Like, like a bouncer.
Like a bouncer, yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
What was here in the 40s, 50s? Because I'm getting a woman in the 40s style dress, you know, with the tight thing with like a, you know, almost an A-frame skirt, you know.
Yeah. I know upstairs that there was, I don't know if there's a second level to the main level, but maybe in the next building, adjoining building, it feels like rooms, not like apartments, but like night room, a room for
Right.
the night and stuff like that. So I don't know if the railroad is near here.
Almost like a flop room, you know.
Flop room,
Yeah,
yeah.
we rented daily or whatever. But no, she would come down here and meet someone. This was their tryst. And I
Yeah.
see her, she's in about a 40s, 50s style
Yeah.
clothing.
Do you think she was related to the owner? Or,
No, I think she just worked here or worked
Yeah.
within the area. And this was their meeting place that they could come out.
yeah, this was her little slice of the pie, because I'm not picking up any other, are you talking about the younger female?
No,
Oh.
she's about 30s, maybe. She's a working girl. No, I take it back. They just dressed older, so about 20s,
So maybe, is it the one in the
It
same?
might be, I don't know, she's got kind of that,
Because I'm feeling
50s.
like, back on the show Gunsmoke,
Uh-huh.
remember that, what was her name? That
Kitty.
Katie?
kitty.
Kitty? Yeah, this one would seem like a younger version of Kitty. She commanded this, and there was no other
Right.
woman, female that was
Yeah, no,
kinda-
this is another layer. This is
Yeah.
another layer entirely where she worked here, and I think it was secretarial filing, and she had a tryst with one of the owners.
Yeah.
Older
yeah.
gentleman.
Yeah, he was a he was a hardball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of cranky.
I wouldn't trust him.
No, but there was something about it. It was, she was drawn to his power, whatever
Yeah.
the power was that she perceived it as, and he liked that, so he
Yeah.
fed off of that. So it was a mutual feeding frenzy kind of thing.
So he's older, and I can see the hair on his face and stuff. And he was pretty well groomed, but he was kind of
Well,
boxy,
rounded. Yeah, a little
rounded,
rounded,
heavy
yeah.
set. He was raised in Michigan, but getting here, he came from Chicago. So he lived in Chicago for a
I was
few
wondering why I
years.
was picking up Chicago.
And that's where that smoke is coming from. That smell of the cigar, and that's him.
Okay.
And he has this cane that I can see, but he doesn't need the cane. And he's got the black and white
The wingtips.
the wingtip shoes, and that cane can open up at the top as a dagger,
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
or at the bottom as a flask.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, I've seen enough of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
I
it
wonder
was
if he
it was
killed that guy.
possibly.
I bet he did.
Well, and it's an affectation as well as a weapon.
A weapon, yeah. But there was some money owed on a bet or something like this, and that younger energy that I'm feeling, the male energy, was killed by stabbing. It could have been the owner.
Well, and I'm hearing he's yelling and he's like, "You owe."
Oh yeah,
And it's like,
he was
no,
walking,
wait, he's-
pacing back and forth.
Yeah, and then but the younger guy was kind of like backing off a little bit. No.
Oh yeah,
that's-
he's
that's
kind of
not
like
it.
a,
a little more of a coward, or
Coward,
trying
yeah.
to save his own skin, but
Yeah.
just backing off a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
it's
makes
funny
sense.
because I'm picking up horses too, in the back, in the back of the building. Horses,
stable?
like a stable. Yeah.
Was there a stable here at one point? Maybe that way.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
the roads are
yeah.
dirt. The roads
Yeah.
are mud and dirt or whatever.
Well, and you need some kind of a municipal stable
Yeah.
to, put the horses in for, especially for an
Which,
extended period of time.
that's kind of funny. I brought up Gunsmoke, but now you're talking about the municipal thing. And
Yeah.
I'm picking up the Sheriff frequented here. And this was
He
just
was
a
in on
hush
it,
hush.
yeah. This is-
Yeah.
yeah.
He was in it. Okay. Moving on.
It's like lots of stuff likes to run in and out between here.
Yeah,
Part of it's the little kid, and part of it's other energy.
yeah,
A lot of thought patterns.
yes.
Just what was left here residually, so kind of like, the tryst and a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
And then whatever was left over from them.
That's almost like shale or sandstone type stuff. I'm surprised that all these years that it's supported the weight of the floor and stuff. I was looking at the floorboards that's above and stuff in the other room, and I'm kind of surprised that that was supported that weight.
Well, and I'm looking at this and how much it's crumbling, and the first thing I'm hearing is this is gonna need some kind of a buildup. It's gonna need some kind of strength on it.
Yeah, well, if you see up above though, they've got the I-beams already.
Oh,
Over
sure.
the years,
I
they
mean, look at how much
tried
it's
to bring it up to standard. Oh yeah, it's crumbling. Yeah,
No, he's saying that the foundation here is gonna have to be shored up
yeah.
at some point. Because it's taken the weight of, the weight of the building, but the weight of the emotions and the junk that were down here. And then whatever, when you got a speakeasy and then you've got alcohol with that, it's called whatever comes out.
So when I was first here, now this one, we're not going to go back into this one, but
Yeah.
this space goes back probably 2/3 of the way back to the front of that bowling alley, where the bowling alley area is, and the speakeasy. And this too has a lot of energy, and this is where the younger gentleman hangs out at, and he kind of, so there's a wall, even though in the spirit world they don't have that sensation of walls.
Yeah, there's no, yeah, they didn't know it then.
But he hangs over here to keep space between him and the older gentleman.
I see him walking through, he has that kind of a fedora type.
Yeah, yeah.
Whitish hat, definitely
Cocky, but
Chicago's.
nothing to,
Yeah, it's definitely Chicago style, but I see him like walking forward and
yeah.
he's just, this is my space.
Yeah, he's got his arms like this. You can feel it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mess with him.
yeah. So,
You can go back there if you want.
okay.
Just don't kick over
Yeah,
the paint
see,
can.
I'm feeling that he's
Oh,
kind
no,
of, he's not moving.
No, he's staked out his territory. As long as he's not marking it out. No, this is his territory.
Let's see, what was going on in here? You gotta imagine the walls weren't here at the time.
There's
Well,
stuff
oh,
being
this,
moved- no, there's stuff
do you
being
see
moved
that
in.
wheel? There's a wheel going on. What's that,
Roulette kind of
roulette,
thing,
a
yeah.
roulette wheel.
But there's also
Cards.
boxes of bottles and things being brought in.
Beer and wine and stuff, booze. I see the wheel and I see the cards being played. There's three tables of cards. And so they're
That got
gambling.
built on from that one. There was the early part, and then this got built on later because it was such a big thing,
Yeah,
and it couldn't hold all the people. But it was like it was an open secret.
yeah. What was above? What was a business above at the time? Do you know? Can you pick up on that energy? I'm getting like it's kind of broken up. There's like two businesses, or three in one. What was the main one?
I see a man with a desk, glasses,
Yeah.
and
Is it
the older
financial?
guys. It looks like it.
It feels
something.
financial, like.
Yeah, and he's kind of balder on top, and he's got the hair on the side, and he's sitting
Yeah.
at the desk, and he's kind of hunched over it a little bit.
Oh, it's a land. What do they call that? Land, where you get your certificates or
Right. Okay.
deeds.
Deeds and stuff.
Deeds. And then what else? The other business? Yeah, because he's got that hat on with
He wears it once in a while,
Yeah.
but if he's looking cooler, then he
The
wears
glass.
the
Yeah, the glasses and stuff. He's there, and then he's got that window with the bars in it, and he's sitting behind there. And then off to the left as you walk in, what is that? There's another business there. It has something to do. Well, there again, financial trading of livestock and stuff like this. So there was financial stuff going on above there. And that gentleman that we were talking about from Chicago, originally from Michigan, he feels like that was his money. These guys were working for him.
Well,
So
you know what it feels like? It feels it's got two different energies. One is legit,
Yeah,
that you deal with the farmers or whoever's coming out here and building and dot.
yeah,
And then there's some behind the scenes stuff
yeah,
that is going on. And it feels like money is being funneled back out,
yeah.
but definitely into that guy's bank account. No, he's pissy about that because I just told him.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Oh, he's not happy.
He's like standing right behind me.
You feel a breath in yet?
Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, there was dipping, double dipping, and the guy that was up there knew it, but he knew how to keep his mouth shut. And to him, it's a job. It's a job. He has no say in it one way or the other. It's a job.
that train had to been relatively close because now I'm seeing cattle that were stolen, stolen cattle coming in from
Chicago.
Illinois, yeah.
Well,
and
they had the stockyards.
stockyards,
Yeah.
stolen cattle, and then you've got, so these people were self-sustained, but it was all through
Piracy.
piracy,
For lack of a
bribery, a
better
lot of
word.
bribery going on.
Yeah. You scratch my
The
back, I'll
sheriff,
scratch you.
all of this stuff, the pool table back there, the material to build the bowling alley, and all that stuff was stolen goods.
Which is funny because if
The
you look
roulette
at
wheel.
you know what's funny? You look at the Anoka emblems today. A lot of it's motorcycles. A lot of it's outlaw, rebel.
Yeah.
It still has that
You're
feel.
right.
There's still
Yeah,
that bar over there, over by Millie P's.
yeah,
That's got kind of a rebel feel, you
Yeah.
know, where it's just skirting the law, just that weekend wild bunch kind of thing.
well,
going on.
and it's funny because the Anoka area, and some say the Anoka County in general, has that energy
Oh,
of
feels like it.
piracy and,
And the rebellion and all that.
rebellion,
Yeah,
and stuff like
It's
this.
still, well, I mean, and look at it in the logos.
Yeah.
that's here.
And then they say that this is the Halloween capital of the world. You know, and so they resonate with that, and the residents, I feel now, especially this time era, have heard all the stories from their grandparents and their parents and stuff like
Oh,
this.
sure.
So
It's family lore at this
they're
point.
used to it, yeah.
Yeah, to them it doesn't, you don't phase them because it's part of who you are.
Do you remember hearing about Deadwood, South Dakota? The roughnecks that were hanging out there? That's what was here. It was roughnecks. You got conspiracy, you got all sorts of stuff.
Well,
to
then plus
make
the
it
fact
pretty.
that if this is the straight line to Chicago, which is the main hub
Yeah,
of the trains, and that's where the main hub stopped, and everything else started getting a little sparser,
yeah,
you know, as
Yeah.
as it went out farther west. Yeah, you would have had that, and stockyards from Chicago, which was a huge thing.
yeah,
Stockyards from St. Paul,
Yeah.
South St. Paul. So, and there were some dealings down there too.
yeah,
So if they could like scoot them in this way, the back way, and then down that way,
yeah,
with all of the other dealings that were going on downtown.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, and then like Mina's Underground, the one that ran the bordellos.
oh yes,
It was all part of that stuff, and it was just a given that you were going to be part of the system of the cops. You know,
yeah,
that was another reason. And so you got a lot of kickbacks, and you got a lot of bribery, and you got a lot of scratching of backs, and a lot of political agenda going in there.
a lot of politics,
Ton.
a lot of politics.
Ton.
And a lot of it locally was settled here. Like if you were having trouble on the other side of town or whatever,
Anoka was it?
Anoka was it. And even if you were buying payments and stuff, like I told you, the land,
The deeds and the titles.
the deeds and
all that.
titles were up here.
Yeah.
They would drag you in here, you know, after hours and stuff. They would lure you in here. If you were behind on your payments, you were going to lose your property or whatever. And they would either force you out of town, verbally or whatever, threaten you,
Or beat the snot out
or
of you.
beat the snot out of you.
I see a few being beaten, sitting
Yeah.
in a chair and just pummeled.
I know when I first was introduced to the basement here, I started at the top of the stairs, which with the business that's operating above here, I opened the door to come down the stairs and I stopped. I just felt the energy come up
Oh,
like
yeah.
this. And it was the older gentleman that was like, he was standing at the foot of the stairs and it was like, come down at your own, you know, at your own risk. He was
Yeah,
picking up on
you're
me.
in my world,
You're
yeah,
in my
yeah.
world now. But it wasn't menacing. It wasn't like threatening or anything like that, like back in the day.
Yeah, that would have been a lot more.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah, no, it's just, this is like the roundabout loop
yeah,
to get on the other side of St. Paul, so you didn't have to go directly through it, but.
right. And it was
around it.
close to the river.
Oh, yeah.
But also, if you take a look at downtown today, downtown Anoka, look at the mix of businesses you got going
Oh,
on
absolutely.
and how unique the names are and stuff. We think that's pretty cool nowadays. It was the same back in the day. I mean, you had a mix. You could
Oh, yeah.
have a woman's clothing store next to a crematorium. And now you've got a lot of antique stores that are have remnants of that day
Oh, yeah.
and era.
Part of the houses, part of who was here, the doctor, who this and this and this.
Yeah,
And I think the doctor that was here, he knew what was going on, but what can you do? He was actually good with his Hippocratic oath.
Yeah.
You know, so he really didn't say a whole lot,
Yeah.
other than, you know, you shouldn't be doing this, but that's about as far as you get.
yeah. I know in downtown too, on Main Street, this is how funny it was, how they had it disorganized with the businesses.
Mm-hmm.
It was basically if you had cash. So this gentleman here had his hand in a lot of stuff.
A lot of the business
A lot of
units.
the businesses and stuff,
It's
and
like
he had a
the
lot of
buildings were
say
there, and you plugged
who's
your
gonna be, yep. And so you paid a lot of cash up front to get in, and then you better keep up on your payments, pretty much like it is today. But they,
Only a little rougher.
a lot of rougher, but I was gonna say on Main Street, I believe they have this candy store that's pretty well known around the area, the Twin Cities area and stuff. Right above it is a dentist. That's how crazy it was
Oh,
back
yeah.
then too.
Oh, yeah. If you could stuff in a business here, business there, business
Yeah.
there, business there, the landowner's rent was taken care of,
Yeah.
and he was pulling in a profit because he
Yeah.
had so many businesses.
Yeah,
Plus the fact it was congested and it was downtown, so you could go one spot and hit 12 different things. You
Yeah.
wouldn't have to go all over the place. Wouldn't have to go into Twin Cities or anything like that.
And then you mentioned earlier to me about the quilting store.
Oh, yeah, millions.
Isn't that funny? Because back then, you know, that was profitable.
Oh, yeah.
Back then, but they were literally handmade. You know, these are handmade today, but at a quicker pace.
Much more expensive.
Yeah. So they would be selling their goods around here too. So
Oh,
it's
yeah,
always
there's
been thriving and stuff like this. But back in the day, it was underhanded.
But there's still that there's something in the background. There's good people here and all that stuff, but there's still something in the background of something shady. You know what I mean? There's even if it's just the energy, there's something here. There's something rebellious. There's something that says, even if it's like a biker bar, you know, we're a little tough. We're this. We're law-abiding up to a point, and then we're going to skirt those issues. You know, we're going to go around it.
What another thing I just picked up on, we all know about Fort Snelling and about the river, and what just came in was the natives that came down the river, came down the river from the north. They would bypass this area. They would not be in the water in this area. So they would, I don't know if they'd grab their canoes or whatever, and they would carry them around in the woods to stay away from Anoka. Because I suppose they were being probably slaughtered or...
Well, there was still that sentiment, but I'm also hearing there's something older with the land. There's something, we know it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
We stay away from it. We've stayed away from it for generations. Legend has this, legend has that. So they know the energy, and they knew whoever settled here was going to pick up on that energy.
Yeah.
You know, and they're sitting there thinking, we're staying away from that. Well, and then there was the, you know, the anti-Indian sentiment and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But there's something about the land here that they're just like, we're not touching it.
Yeah.
We're not touching it. There's something old. There's something off.
Well, and then, you know, how ironic again that the government would build in Anoka the infirms, what do you call them, infirmaries for the mentally insane.
Mm-hmm.
And
Permanently bewildered.
Yeah, permanently bewildered. But that sense have faded away over the years, and now they're converting it into veterans' homes. I guess care homes or, you know, whatever they are, but they're for long-term veterans, I believe. I don't know for sure.
They're to house homeless veterans.
Oh, homeless veterans. Okay. With that energy, can you imagine that? So they're basically going full circle.
You're doing a cyclone of energy that's just, oh my God. I mean, there's been enough depression, suicides here, over by the river. But this is not, you know what, it's funny, if you're looking at it on a sky basis, for some reason this one seems darker, cloudier, whereas if you go outside of it, the sun seems brighter.
Yeah.
It's like when you walk into a certain section of woods or something, for some reason it just darkens.
Yeah.
It's just not a happy place. And there's a lot of struggle, there's a lot of, nobody was paid well. There was a lot of behind the scenes, because nobody was paid well, they needed to survive.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, I'm being pushed out, I wanted to move in towards the cities more, but we can't, so we're staying here.
Yeah.
You know, and there's all of that stuff, and there's a lot of resentment, and there's a lot of,
Well, it feels
anger
like
and
too,
depression
like
and
once
that.
you purchase land or once you moved to Anoka back in the day, you were kind of stuck.
you're stuck.
You're stuck,
stuck.
emotionally, physically, I mean, not physically.
Mentally.
Mentally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and spiritually. You were just stuck, and it felt
Yeah.
like, you know,
And that's what the Native Americans knew at that time. They knew this was just not.
yeah, so
Yeah.
they would go around it, you know, spiritually, and you know, they'd feel it intuitively. They'd just go around it. Let's see.
I think there might have been a battle here or two, years prior to even the founding of the town.
Yeah.
But I mean, it left a mark. There's something in the land. Now I sound like Dead Files. There's something in the land that just sucks this energy
Yeah,
in,
it's very
and
cool.
it's very
Yeah.
negative. It's very depressing. It's very. I mean, it's almost like it's got tentacles.
Yeah.
So if you have a tendency towards depression or thinking dark thoughts or suicide, or just you're angry, it just like goes out.
No, what's funny you say that about the energy from the land. It feels like it's pulling on you, pulling on me.
Oh yeah.
But just down the river, on East River Road, I believe that's in the Fridley area, But there's parks and recreation area there along the river and there's a lot of ceremonies there and stuff at this old farm estate, and it used to be a dairy farm, big dairy farm. That energy, if you walk out onto that property and around that house, it's very supporting, and you can feel the really good energy coming up.
It's much more
Here it's
nurturing.
pulling, it's pulling you down.
No, this is older stuff. This is stuff that's been stuck here.
Yeah.
And then with the energies of the people moving in here, it just feeds it. It's just
Yeah.
like, Beck.
So we're not trying to,
Disparage Anoka, no.
disparage or
No, but it's
cause
just-
any problems for the current realtors. You're
No, but
trying to sell land.
it just is, if you can keep cleansing it, it will move it out, and you just have to get that mindset.
I think that this is going to take something universally to do this, because it's so thick, it's so heavy, and it's
It's been
so
around for
wide.
years.
It's been around for years. Do you know what? Okay, so what's coming in right now is that this whole thing, and it looks huge. Okay, so if you can imagine, you see on the news today the weather and stuff like that, cyclone or a hurricane coming into inland and stuff like that. So take a look at that and the eye of it and stuff. They're showing me here over this whole area, Anoka County, or Anoka, and it's huge, but it's a closed vortex. It's
Yeah,
a
it
vortex,
doesn't-
it's
it
an
doesn't
old
go up beyond
vortex
that,
that is
yeah.
not being used for as long back as I can hear or feel or,
Yeah,
does that make sense?
yeah, it does. It does. It's just in this area.
Yeah, it's like an open wound that is scabbed over. That's what this feels, that's what they're telling me, is that this used to be a vibrant vortex at one time, back when, civilization wasn't really around.
It's losing its power now, I think, because transportation and stuff, you can get out, you've got more outlets to be
Yeah.
outside of it. But it's still here, so I mean,
Oh, yeah, you can
someone
feel
that's
the-
depressed
Yeah,
or is not quite right medically, chemically, whatever,
yeah,
you can tap into this thing really big.
yeah.
It doesn't take much.
Yeah.
Teenage angst will just set this thing off. I mean, just,
Yeah, it's crazy. And
It's
the
nuts.
ones that are gravitate to areas like this, back in the day with the
Oh, yeah.
speakeasy and the gambling and stuff going on, that mindset, they gravitated to here. And it was like a fresh wound that's just now scabbing over, that vortex feel.
Mhm.
That sucks people like that in here.
it's gotta take a lot of cleansing
Yeah.
to shift this. But I mean, it's starting,
Yeah,
but
it's gonna be
it's still there. It's just, it's almost like it's hibernating at this point because there's so much stuff going on.
Yeah.
And there's so many outlets now that back then it never had.
Yeah,
So it's still there though. I mean, I can feel it. It's just,
yeah. All
it's kinda
right,
depressing.
yes, very good.
Stay up to date on everything that Karmik Channels is doing by visiting our website, liking us on Facebook, following us on Twitter, or connect with us on Google+. Illuminate your journey, enhance your life, schedule an appointment today.